Okay, guys. I did say at the end of my Nubia Real One review that my next video was going to be lighter. And we're going to get back to dealing with bullshit arguments from dumbasses on the internet. Yay. This may be evidence that we're still living in clown world, but at least it's not hell world. With that being said, let's dive into a video from our guy Hugs86, who's talking about the addition of 2 characters to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and how a Jiggle Physics Mod that someone made is just so stupid. Okay, let's go.
Nintendo announced 2 new characters for Smash Bros., Pyra and Mythra from Xenoblade. Well, just to put it frankly, they gave them really big breasts, right? Which is totally normal, or it's like an okay thing to do because that's just how some body types are, and that's okay. Some content creators made a whole lot of jokes about it, or they focused heavily on the breasts and then made like distasteful thumbnails or different things like that. So there's a lot of controversy about it. Some people were upset, and reasonably so.
Wait, hold on. Pump them brakes, pimpin'. Y'all do know this is a vid game. The video game version of taking your action figures from all the different shows and movies and shit and just slamming them together and throwing them around the room. Why would anyone be reasonably upset over anything that happens in this damn game? Even if it's humongous boobs, it's pixelated boobs. Why is this an argument still? How is pixelated booba bad?
So then said content creators, at least the ones that I know of, apologized for it, kind of deleted the videos and just took a more mature approach to it.
I hope he goes into detail about that because I really don't know what is the issue. They made characters. The characters have titties. Sometimes you can make jokes about titties. Can we not make titty jokes? I don't know. I really don't know because the line keeps moving like every second.
They modded Smash Ultimate and they added Jiggle Physics to the boobs because that's totally necessary, right? That's something that we need to do.
Sometimes it's just cool to do stuff in games. You don't need... There's plenty of stuff that happens in games that isn't necessary. It's just to add a sense of fun and excitement and laughter to the game. And yeah, some of that is going to involve sex appeal and giving them anime-style boob physics.
So what's wrong with it? The first thing is that we actually do need to just stop objectifying women just straight up.
Sure, if a real woman does not want to be objectified, I am fully on board with her not being objectified. I'm going to make a statement right now. You guys, you're going to hear it. I made one of these before. I'm about to do it again. Anime and hot take. No one is harmed when fictional women are objectified. So it's okay. You can't objectify something that's already an object. Okay, wait. Shh. Don't tell nobody.
And I know some of you might be thinking, well, you know, it's not a real woman. It's a 2D woman.
Yes.
Basically, it's not as easy as just telling someone, hey, just stop objectifying women. And then they're like, okay, cool. The problem is that we have a culture that supports that sort of thing. You got your like shows in the 50s and TV shows in the 60s where it was just totally cool for the men on the shows to ogle the women and objectify them and just look them up and down. And then it was just kind of funny or they thought it was great. And
yes, and like you just pointed out, those shows existed in the 50s and 60s, aka in the era of black and white TV, and polio still being a thing, and lynchings still being a thing. I'm gonna need for you to at least update your argument and use examples of things that have at least happened since like the 80s. Also, it's fake. Like, you do know that stuff can happen to people on a fictional show and it's not actually happening. Like, and none of that translates to me going out and doing it. You know why? Because I'm an adult with a fully functioning brain who's not a piece of shit who likes to prey on women. Perish the thought.
The more of that kind of stuff comes out in our media, the more it propagates the idea that it's okay to do in real life.
Who's saying women aren't objectified in real life? That's not what people are saying. What we're saying is you can objectify a cartoon or a video game character and still have respect for real life women.
And nobody can sit here and tell me that the objectification of women doesn't happen in real life. But you can't separate that from what happens in works of fiction.
Yes, you can.
The fact that our media is constantly okay with this sort of thing is what promotes that objectification in real life, right?
You know, this argument is sounding dangerously close to the arguments of the old conservative right, the religious right, the people who have been trying to ban video games since the days of like Mortal Kombat 1. You see people uppercutting folks' heads off and ripping their spines out of their back, or soliciting sex from hookers and then kicking them out of your car and running them over and taking the money. If we do that in games, we're gonna go do that in real life. And yeah, spoiler alert, that don't happen. I'm just gonna keep on calling bullshit.
So to say that, oh, this is just a character in a video game, it doesn't mean that it happens in real life. No, bullshit. We've already seen it happen in real life because of the culture that's been created through all sorts of media that ends up making it okay.
Yeah, but the response makes no sense because you're blaming fake shit for the actions of real shit. The two are not necessarily linked, and you have yet to provide sufficient evidence that they're linked. So I'm just going to file this in the bullshit cabinet.
If Nintendo chose to make a woman with big breasts in their game, then that isn't a window for the community to just be like, holy crap, like, look at those breasts, that's all I care about, and I want to objectify that and all that.
People want to play the game because the game is fun. People want to play the characters because the characters look fun. Their movesets look fun, or maybe they're familiar with them from whatever world they come from, and they want to play them. They just also happen to have humongous knockers, and that is some sweet icing on the already delicious cake. I fucking hate when people make this argument. Oh, they released a character that's hot, and that's all y'all care about. Y'all are the only ones saying that, because the people who actually play the game or who like the characters, they're not even making those arguments. I'm not saying no one makes that, but from what I've seen, the overwhelming majority of people are not like that.
It's like, just kind of be a decent person and just be like, oh, okay, yeah, they gave this person big boobs. Fine. Move along.
What real women are being objectified because of pixelated titties? How are real women offended because some guys are like, hey, this character got big titties? I don't know a whole lot. You know who I do know, though? I know a good chunk of women who actually do genuinely get offended because of people like this, who have to body shame both women who have these body types and people who like women who have these body types. We're having this discussion of fucking again because they recently announced that they're making season 2 of the anime Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and they're introducing a character in season 2 from the manga, Ilulu, I think her name is. And Ilulu is like, she has Lukua's rack on Kana's body size. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. And you have the usual crowd who runs in, booba bad, you're all a bunch of pedophiles, blah, 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 blah. Even though you have numerous women who are saying that they have that body type. And when this crowd shames people for liking them or creating them, they're really shaming the real life women who look like this, because you're saying that their body type is shameful, that their body type is something to be ashamed of. It's bad to have big breasts and be small. Short stacks, I guess we can't allow them.
It's a thing I talk about on stream a lot, which I joke about here and there, about not yucking people's yums. And the phrase is a silly phrase meant to say, like, hey, whatever you're into, as long as it doesn't harm other people, then go for it, right?
Okay, so then I'm confused by this entire video. We're almost at 5 minutes of this video, and the previous 4 minutes before you got on this point was about you essentially dumping on people for liking titties on girls in games. So I don't believe you when you say don't yuck people's yums.
And even that stuff, you could enjoy it in the privacy of your own room, right?
Well, no one's saying that you gotta upload yourself jerking off to Pyra and Mythra. Like, the outrage about this makes zero sense. It's not based in any type of logic or reason that I am familiar with, or at least any type of reason that I would actually call reason.
Like you could even put it on a banner, right, on your Twitter account. There's ways in which you have your things that you're into, and then there's ways that you either keep them to yourself or like put them out there on a case-by-case basis. Some are okay, some are not. I think one that is not okay, that kind of does cross that line, is making a fucking video game mod. Like, why do you have to make a video game mod specifically so that the boobs can jiggle in the game? It makes no sense to me. Like,
so wait, are you one of these people who like claims to be all sex positive but actually you're sex negative? You don't want people to express sexual interest or attraction to fictional characters on Twitter. That's peak yucking people's yums, good sir.
are you not playing Smash because you like playing the game of Smash? Tell me in what world that needs to turn into your fetish getting put out there. Like,
fetish? Oh, I was thinking that liking boobs was standard. It's a fetish now?
okay, you're into boob physics, then do that shit on your own. I don't know why you need to see this game that you play, this Smash Brothers, and then you need to morph it into a new version so that the boobs jiggle for your pleasure. It's just the...
But wait, if it's a mod, it's not in all the games, which means you have the option to download it or not to download it, which means the people who don't like it, they don't have to download it, and then they won't see it. You ever play Skyrim on PC? I got a friend who used to play Skyrim on PC. She used to play it on Xbox 360 until she discovered the PC version and all the mods that were up there. Then she completely forgot about the 360 version because the amount of shit that you can do in that game, she put stuff in there that I didn't even think a person would ever think to put in that game. I have no interest in playing with a naked lizard man with a foot-long peen, so I'm not going to download it. But she does, so she downloads it. End of problem.
You got your yums, and you're just allowing it to cross that line where you just have to broadcast it. You have to just bring it into other places that...
What is wrong with broadcasting it? If people are comfortable enough to say, I love titties, what's wrong with saying I love titties? I'll say it right now. Hello, I'm Animane. I'm 32 years old. I like a lot of aspects about women. I like plenty of shapes of women. I like fit women. I like chubby girls. I like strong women that could kick my ass. I like short stacks. There are many aspects about a woman that I find greatly appealing from head to toe. And if that bothers anyone's sensibilities, too bad, so sad, tough titty, said the kitty.
Honestly, I think there's a lot of benefit of keeping some of that private.
You acting like he put like foot fetish stuff in there where she just gives a random dude a foot job and that's how she defeats him. You act like they put bondage stuff in here and it's a cutscene of them getting tied up and spanked and whipped until they're soaking wet. The reaction that you're having to the simplest shit, it boils my piss, it grinds my gears, it chaps my ass.
What makes this particular edgy is like, dude, let's be real here. Smash is a video game typically meant for children.
Please, in the comment section, I need anyone who has kids or knows of kids that exist. Can y'all please tell me how many of them that y'all know of were harmed by knowing that boobs exist?
So why bring your boob jiggle fetish to that arena? Why do it there? Keep it in your fucking room, dude.
Yeah, liking titties, please keep that to yourself, guys. Hey, all y'all people out there that like titties, keep that shit to yourself, man. If you like ass, keep that to yourself, too. If you like a nice size peen that is throbbing and veiny, keep that shit to yourself, bitch. If you have the unmitigated gall to like vagina, I don't want to know. I'm sorry, I know I should be giving this guy an actual response, but how can I respond seriously to this shit?
If it doesn't hurt anyone, let them be. And you're saying, well, if you're not into it, don't download it. Don't worry about it. Here are the facts, right? If tournaments come back, do you actually think someone's not going to bring their modded Switch to a tournament with the boob physics to play it there in person, and then like a girl is in the vicinity and she just sees all these dudes like just going nuts over this Jiggle Physics Mod that some dude decided to make for whatever reason.
I think you're overestimating the amount of people who would be at this thing who would genuinely care. If we're at a tournament and it's like sick gameplay going on the whole time, how many people do you really think are going to sit by and just sit there laughing at jiggling titties? And how many women do you think are going to sit around and feel offended because they know that titties exist and there are dudes around them that are looking at titties on a pixelated cartoon girl? Women who game to that extent that they would go to a damn tournament. I got news for you, buddy. They're not nearly as sensitive as you think they are.
Like, you have to understand how that would make someone feel, someone who relates to those characters and what you're making of them when you play it that way.
Sometimes a person can do something and it not be wrong, and another person can see that and feel uncomfortable. I, as a black person, can look at a white person who has locks and feel uncomfortable, and it does not mean that the white person has done anything wrong. And if I were to go up and ask them to take that hair out or that they're wrong for wearing that hairstyle, I'm the asshole. Because there's nothing wrong with a white person having a quote-unquote black hairstyle. If they were at the game tournament and this were a cosplayer who was on stage and people were genuinely being sexist by saying lewd things to her, then that would be the fault of the person. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about fake-ass women in a fake-ass video game.
They're saying something like, okay, this is a common response. It's like, people were totally fine with like shirtless Shulk, shirtless Sephiroth. Why is this such a big deal? Context matters a ton. There is a huge difference in the way that women are treated in society for their bodies versus men. And if women are constantly valued based on their bodies in society, or devalued because of their bodies in society, then promoting that kind of action in society is what makes that more wrong than doing it with a man. A man is not necessarily valued by their body and by society the same way. So if you take a picture of shirtless Sephiroth and you talk about his abs being the sickest washboard abs that anybody has ever seen, it's a lot less hurtful. I'll say it as a man. I don't feel objectified ever, because society doesn't really do that to me.
What you're saying is very subjective. I mean, how do you know that there aren't like body conscious guys out there? I know that this is with this idea that the way women are objectified is only for women, and the responses they have to being objectified, that's only something that women can deal with. For fuck's sake, it's happened to me in real life, okay? I've been to clubs back when I used to club. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. Oof, that life over for me. And I have been grabbed in the dark, practically chased around the fucking dance floor by drunk-ass women that I did not consent to having that type of interaction with. They just wanted to feel up on me just cuz. Didn't feel too great. Is it as often as it happens to women? No. But something is not more true just because it happens more often, or less true because it happens less often. If objectification is bad, objectification is bad. I'm a person of principle, and I think that if that's your standard, apply it across the board. But you don't have a problem when we do that shit to men in video games or anything else. You have a problem when it happens to women because of history and culture and society and yada 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 yada, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. That's some bullshit, okay? Either it's fine for both or it's not fine for both. I happen to think it's fine for both as long as we're talking about fictional women, animated women, or if they want to receive that attention, it's fine. If not, don't try to force it on them. Yeah, I'm done with this video. This is some horse shit. I knew this was gonna be dumb, but holy Christ on a cake, this was some fuck shit right here. I mean, holy fallacious argument, Batman. How have so many wrong statements been said in such a short amount of time? And with that being said, thank y'all for joining me on today's dive headlong into fuckery. This is a crazy ass world we live in, and I'm just a simple nerd trying to make sense of it all. I'm Anime, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.